Hello, this is Paulo, your universal friend, coming back with the second episode of my podcast. In this opportunity, I would love to address a very important subject which talks about the reasons to start a spiritual journey. But first, what does exactly mean to start a spiritual journey? My friends, I think the answer is very simple. Is even simpler than what you may think. To start a spiritual journey simply means that we have consciously decided to become a better version of ourselves. Humanly, emotionally, mentally, and physically. However, nowadays, I believe that many people may have started what looks like a spiritual journey for the wrong reasons. Indeed, many people are just following a fashion trend. The trend of meditation. The trend to buy spiritual or esoteric objects. The trend to consult mediums. Or even the trend to work on their divine abilities because it would actually be cool to have special powers. But I believe that all this is really far from being a true spiritual journey if it's not done for the right reasons. I am not saying here that there is something wrong with doing all these things, because everyone has free will and we are all free to experience whatever we want and whatever we consider best for us. However, to do all those things with the simple objective to follow a fashion trend and to feel cool is certainly not going to make us grow spiritually. Another wrong reason to start a spiritual journey is fear. Some people are trying to become a better person because they are afraid of the punishment that they will receive if they do not do so. My friends, spiritual growth is directly related to unconditional love, and where there is love, there cannot be fear. If you are feeling constantly afraid of punishment, or afraid of the end of the world, then you will not be able to learn because fear will block you. We need to overcome fear and do things with love, joy, and excitement. So, try rather to start your own journey, focusing on your well-being, on your happiness, and on the peace you would like to feel inside of you, instead of focusing on negative emotions such as fear. Another wrong reason to start the journey of spiritual growth is our own ego. Some people are convinced to be spiritual, but in the end they just want to feel, probably unconsciously, better than the others. I mean, they want to feel superior. They want to judge others. They want to feel that they are above all those who are lost. But remember that a truly spiritual person does not judge. A truly spiritual person doesn't condemn, doesn't humiliate, and doesn't tell others what to do. Instead, a spiritual person shares wisdom and respects the path of every single person, even if the person is kinda lost, because that's his or her decision. So take the time to ask yourself if you are on this journey for the good reasons, which is simply your own personal growth in the path of unconditional love. Now, when we decide to start a journey to become a better version of ourselves, it is inevitable to start checking how other people act and react. This is not something negative necessarily. It is just that we become very curious and we start paying attention to how far people that we know have advanced on their own spiritual journey. In this case, our main intention is a good one, which is to see if there is something we can learn from them, or to see if there is something we can share with them to help them grow. However, We must pay close attention to our thoughts because it is very easy to fall in the trap of judging. Judging others is probably one of the worst things we can do when we want to grow spiritually. If you pay close attention, you will realize that people are constantly judging their close ones, their friends, their neighbors, their colleagues, and even people they don't know. Now, I guess you're going to tell me, how can we help judging bad people, for example? How can we help judging criminals? How can we help judging terrorists? Well, my friends, it is indeed not an easy task to do, but we must learn to do so. That doesn't mean that we should let others hurt us or let them do horrible actions, and that doesn't mean that we should not report such crimes, because we should. But it is not our responsibility to judge others and their actions. How many times we hear people saying, "How could she or he do such horrible thing? If I was her, or if I was him, I would have never done that." Well, my friends, let me tell you that you're kinda wrong, because if you were that person, you would have her personality and character. You would have her background. You would have her family and friends. You would have also her traumas, her suffering, and her fears. So, you would have probably done the same thing. I understand this is a notion that is very hard to accept and to integrate, not to judge others. But I think that this is an elemental lesson that we need to learn if we want to start evolving spiritually. Remember that a spiritual journey is a journey that places us on the path of unconditional love. And where there is love, there is respect. So the action of not judging others implies respect for every single person and also for his or her own spiritual path. If you decide to develop unconditional love on a daily basis, try to experience love for all that surrounds you and not just for people who love you. It is when you finally start experiencing love for everything and everyone that surrounds you, including those who are not very nice to you, that you will finally understand what unconditional love is. And thus, you will be able to respect the progress of every single person on her or his own spiritual path. Thank you so much for your attention and your time. If you like my content, please share with your close ones. This is Paulo, your universal friend.